Welcome to the Becoming Aware podcast, where I, Genevieve Faulkner, share what I'm becoming aware of.
Hello and welcome to Becoming Aware. My name is Genevieve Faulkner, your host. Today I wanted to talk about the spirit world and creating babies. So, and basically co-creating with your children before they're even born, before they're maybe before they're even conceived. So, I haven't really been on here much. My life has been changing quite a fair bit. I've just moved house. So I've been in this place of kind of getting a sense of my new reality where I'm at. But one of the things I've been doing recently is psychic expos, and I've been, offering healings and psychic readings at these places. And I had this experience recently of having this woman who had gone through this traumatic experience of having a stillborn, and was wanting to get pregnant again, and was in that place of anxiety that it wasn't going to happen for her. And she was kind of wanting to know that it would. And I felt like there was so much I wanted to share, and yet there was only a limited time. So I was kind of like, I'm going to do a podcast on this so that I've got the reference to kind of refer people to that if they require to hear more about this area. What was cool about that reading was that I could sense that there was a being there. Now, I have always been someone that, is energetically aware of beings that don't have bodies. And I am very aware that our children are they choose us. They choose us as the portals to come through and have a physical body. And a lot of the time they're soulmate beings. We often travel in packs. So there can be a lot of kind of dynamics between people in families for that reason, because they've lived many lifetimes together, and they're choosing to be the child, but they've also been the parent in other lifetimes, and but there can also be this beautiful gratitude and this beautiful loving energy and this desire to contribute to one another's growth. And something like that I know is that we have the capacity, when you're willing to be really aware, and when you're willing to be aware of the spirit world, we have the capacity to co-create birth, conception, with our children. So, it was interesting with her because I could perceive this being around her that was willing to be her child, that was waiting to be her child. And this is what I wanted to share, because I don't think it's just her. I have this sense that there's these beings that are desiring to be born, but it's kind of like they're desiring greater consciousness for the planet. And those kinds of beings, it's kind of like they don't want to be born into a womb or into a body where there's a lot of density, because they want to be able to be the power of them. They want to be able to be the joy of living. They want to be able to contribute what they can contribute by being them on this planet. But to do that, they don't want to take on as much insanity that gets kind of passed on through the womb and through the time that we spend in the womb. So if you think about it, we spend 8 to 9 months in the womb, right? And in that time, we're surrounded by the emotional energies and whatever else is going on energetically for our mothers. And so during that time, we can often take on a lot of different points of view, a lot of conclusions, beliefs, suppressed emotional energies from our mothers, from the people that are around our mothers at that time. And so, if our mothers are suppressing a lot of emotional energy, or they haven't processed trauma, that kind of thing, then that can kind of, in a sense, influence us sometimes far beyond what we realize into this lifetime. And I get a sense that there are beings out there that are kind of like, I ain't having that this lifetime. You do the work first. So co-creating with beings in terms of, getting pregnant and having a baby, sometimes it's a little bit like trying to pull in a soulmate relationship. Effectively, in order to have a loving one or a kind one or one that truly works for you, you've got to be a vibrational match to it. And that's what this being in this reading was effectively saying to me. It was saying, no, I'm here. I want to be born. I want you to be my mom, but you need to do the work first. I need you to let go of the grief of what happened before. I need you to let go of the trauma from the experience that you had. I need your energy to vibrationally shift so that it's a space for me that is able to facilitate me into being me on this planet. And I just for me, it was such a beautiful experience doing that reading, because there's such a beautiful gift in that. Here she was being really anxious and kind of wanting to just make it happen. And there's this beautiful being there that's actually no, you need to focus on you. No, you need to transform. I want you to have the gift of the lightness of your being before I come and join you. And so it being this kind of just this invitation for her to really shed the past and allow something totally different to be possible beyond the experience that she had, which is so beautiful, just so beautiful. And so I just kind of wanted to share that in case it contributes to anyone. If you are trying to get pregnant and it's not happening, what if you tried to consciously co-create that experience with more than just the partner that you have, but with the being that can actually be your baby? Now, this, you can ask, just like with, someone, bringing in a relationship, you can actually just ask for the beings that would be your child, but you want to ask for ones that are going to actually contribute to the life you desire to have, okay? So you can actually ask for them to show up. And if you are psychic or aware, or you want to be, the more you kind of put yourself in a meditative state, the more you can often be open to the energetic world. And from there, you can begin to actually engage with whoever shows up and kind of create a deal with them. And I know that sounds a little bit strange, but that's kind of the experience I had with my girls. So I could sense the being of my firstborn, pretty much from the moment that I met my ex-husband. I knew that she wanted to be born through me with him. And there was this kind of energetic exchange, and it's not in a sense, it's not totally verbal, but it as in words in my head, yet it's it was a very much energetic thing of this knowing of kind of this engagement with her, of her kind of staying with me throughout the years, because it was about 6 years that I was aware of her, though, before she chose to join us. But there was this kind of knowing between us that she knew that I wasn't ready, and she waited for the time that I was. And, there was this telepathic engagement with her. Me and my ex met at a psychic school. We were both telepathic. So we were able to kind of energetically engage with her before she was born. And we actually said to her energetically, you get to choose your own name. You let us know what you want to be called. And what she did was she put this name in my head, and she also put the name in his head one day. And he came home and he was I've had this name in my head all day. And it was the same name that I had in my head. And so that's how we kind of knew that we were telepathically engaging with her, and that she was choosing, that we were co-creating the experience with her that she desired to have. And we were giving her the choice to be, in a sense, with choosing her name, I think like there's such an energy in names. It's kind of like we allowed her to claim that energy. With my second one, it was also the same. She showed up energetically about maybe a year before I got pregnant. And again, there was this kind of exchange of her knowing I wasn't quite ready and her waiting for the time when I was. And I think, you know, I'm very grateful to both of them for choosing me as a mum and for the experiences that we've had together. And I think that there is such different possibilities available with regards to pregnancy and birth and co-creation consciously from a different space, if you're willing to actually be aware of the spirit world. So, you know, if you are someone that is desiring to be pregnant and it's not happening, call in those soulmate beings, ask for the one that's going to contribute the most to the life that you would like to have, and take some time to meditate. See if you can engage with it and see what it is that it requires or desires in order to allow it to come in when it wants to come in. Because I do believe that that is the choice that it gets to make, though it is, you know, it's a choice that involves more than one person, but I do believe that it chooses the time that it comes in, and that may be based upon a vibrational frequency match. So yeah, like rather than focusing on the lack of what hasn't occurred yet, what if you just focused on that engagement and that ability to co-create, and also creating the space in your body that is inviting? Because in a sense, like if you're bringing a being into the world, then your body's going to be its home for a bit. So what kind of home would you like to live in? Are you living in that home? Or is there stuff in your body that requires shifting in order for it to be the kind of home that you would like to be in? Now, it's an interesting one because here you are in your body, you know, probably maybe not totally acknowledging all the energies that you've stored in there. And yet, if you think about another being coming and joining you, it may actually trigger the awareness of different energies that you have stored within your body. And so if, you know, you're wanting to create a baby and it hasn't been happening, is there stuff that needs to be shifted out of your body? What points of view, what belief systems do you require to transform, change, let go of in order to get what you desire? And what is it that it requires for it to join you also? If you need any assistance, you can book sessions with me. We can work on shifting the belief systems and letting go of the suppressed emotional energy, or, you know, finding out what is required. Yeah. And if you have any questions about this particular podcast, feel free to leave me a comment, send me a message. If there's other things you want me to create podcasts about, yeah, feel free to get in touch. And thank you for listening to me. Have a great day. Bye.